What's up guys, Bloodshed here. Today we're going to talk about a Demon Hunter speed farm build for Season 9 patch 2.4.3. Now this is going to take advantage of the Unhallowed Essence set. It's going to be a grenade generator setup. A lot of terms I'm throwing at you, but it's very easy to play. You essentially spam tumble, spam grenades, and win, okay? If you guys don't know, the Hellcat Waistguard was redesigned for this patch. Grenades now have a chance to bounce 5 additional times, dealing multiplicative damage, dealing an additional 50% damage on each bounce. This bounce is increased by 800% on the final bounce. Since this setup is focused on grenades itself, we're going to focus on skills and abilities that complement that idea. So we're going to use Depth Diggers for sure. To get the Depth Diggers, we're obviously going to use the Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube. The Hunter's Wrath, you can also wear the Hunter's Wrath or you can put it in the cube. Your primary skills, which are grenades in this case, attack 30% faster and deal 60% increased damage, so it's a direct buff to our skill. In all setups, you want to use Simplicity Strength. It's going to increase the damage of your primary skills. We're going to be rocking the Focus and Restraint combo just to get that extra 50% damage on top of all your skills. Also for legendary gems, Bane of the Trapped and Bane of the Powerful seem to be pretty solid options. If it's early season and you're dying a lot, you can swap out NEMs for Rhapsodic Clarity. Rhapsodic Clarity is going to give you like a 35% damage reduction bonus, or you can swap out, say, Bane of the Powerful for like Esoteric or some defensive gem to your liking. You're going to want to make sure you have max discipline on your weapons and your chest piece, because this still is an Unhallowed Essence build. So the 6-piece bonus gives your generators, which in this case is grenades, a 40% increased damage for each point of discipline you have. So you want to just make sure you have it on your weapons, chest piece. I like to use a Hellfire Amulet. So this is the build. So Hellfire Amulet, I have Ambush on it. So you want to use Ambush, Numbing Traps, Grenader, Perfectionist, and Steady Aim. Now you can mix and match this to your liking. Again, like my other builds, I'm going to tweak it and change it as the season progresses, as new things kind of come to light. But I've had some good luck with this build. I run rips in about 3 to 4 minutes. We obviously test with varying levels of Paragon, different gear sets, and I found like this to be the best overall setup. Perfectionist is just going to give you a little bit of tankiness because we're not using Rhapsodic Clarity off the bat. I like to use Nemesis Bracers. Steady Aim. Okay, so with Steady Aim, as long as there are no enemies within 10 yards, all damage is increased by 20%. It's really powerful. Try to stay around that mid-range with mobs. I mean, sometimes even I tumble into them on accident. But you want to stay 10 yards away from them, and that's also how you get your 4-piece bonus for the Unhallowed set, where it kind of synergizes perfectly, right? You gain 60% damage reduction and deal 60% increased damage if no enemy is within 10 yards. So the skills are pretty much one and the same. I love those two together. Grenader buffs our grenades, Perfectionist the toughness. For Numbing Traps, when you're actually hitting them with your grenades, they're going to deal less damage to you. Now, if you get really good, this is not necessary, but I think for new, even to intermediate players, if you're just trying to Netflix and chill and farm, it's good to have this. That way you're just not taking unnecessary damage. And damage isn't an issue in this build because we do so much of it, so you kind of look at what you don't need and then you can allocate that to another skill or resource, right? So the build link will be in the description down below, but the general gameplay is you're going to vault around. So we're using the Donetta set. With this set in particular, vault costs 8 hatred instead of discipline. So we're never touching our discipline. You can vault as much as you want. It's never going to even mess with your discipline. And vault deals 800% increased damage, which is whatever, but you're just going to be vaulting around. It's going to be proccing half of your FNR. And when you see a mob, you're going to want to just stop and throw grenades pretty much. And that's it. And you're going to have FNR, both your FNRs up. Just make sure you vault every like 5 seconds or so just to keep your buffs up. If you're fighting a big elite pack, that's when you want to go ahead and use your companion. So it's going to give you a 15% increased damage. So like if there's like a nasty elite pack or you see shielding or a rift boss and you want to pop it, you can just use it on cooldown. Doesn't really matter. You do a lot of damage with this build. The Fountain Knives Bladed Armor is going to give you a lot of toughness. So you can see my toughness is about 50 million right here. I hit Bladed Armor and it goes to 64 million toughness. Pretty much what that's for. Again, it's because we're not using Rhapsodic Clarity. I'm having some safeguards built in just to kind of help us survive. Just like with Vengeance, we're using the Dark Heart rune just to give us more damage reduction so we can just Netflix and chill, like I was saying, kill and chill and succeed, right? Again, the link will be in the description down below. It'll be updated throughout the life cycle of Season 9. Big shout out to all my patrons out there. Today I want to say a big shout out to Ziff. Ziff, thank you, man, for your continued support on Patreon. Much appreciated. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do on YouTube and Twitch. If you guys are interested in Patreon, there's a link down below in the description as well. I'm going to be doing a monthly podcast based on Diablo, just for my Patreon bros, just a way to show them thank you for helping me out. Make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.